know, people hear New York and they think New York City always. It's a totally different world. Long Island is an agricultural, farming, maritime community. Most of the vineyards are planted on old potato fields. It's a unique place, and it's a great place to visit.
We're very close to the water. We have a maritime climate, so we're surrounded by water on both sides, which allows us to grow grapes out here. We're an eastern region, but we don't really have a problem ripening fruit.
To me, it feels very much like it is settled squarely between New World and Old World in a lot of ways. I found that the wines that we've made have some of the riper flavors and textures that one might typically associate with New World regions, but they tend to be framed in a much lighter, more delicate palate. And I think that it creates this very beautiful sort of middle-of-the-road style that is very pleasing and very appealing.
So the big difference between the North and South Fork is the South Fork is actually a little slower to ripen because it's a little cooler because they've got the ocean breezes coming off. The North Fork is a little bit more buffered because we have the ocean, then the South Fork, then the bay, then the North Fork. So there's a little more temperature days per growing season.
As I get to know people here, as I get to meet other winemakers and get to hear their stories of having been here over the years, it's obvious that there's already a great depth of knowledge that they've accumulated. But every one of them that I've met still feels like there's still so much to be discovered out here.
I have to tell you that Long Island is a very unique place to make wine. Very challenging. Every year is different. You are not resting until all the grapes are in. And every summer is different. Every growing season is different.
Our focus is more on the quality of the grapes to make the highest quality of the wine. So all this freedom is really helping us to draft and to make wine that are very suited for the area and really expression of the philosophy that we have for Long Island.
Now, in the 50th year of the region, we've seen wines like 20, 25 years old that are gorgeous, that are drinking really well.
And that's the result certainly of all those years of knowing better our terroir, knowing better our grapes, and making certainly better wines as time goes.
I think here we have the ability to experiment now. We're not like so established that we don't have the freedom to try new things and kind of still identify ourselves as what we're gonna be. Like we're still experimenting and trying new grapes and kind of trying to discover what works best here.
I think the red varietals are what really gets everybody excited. You know, Merlot is a standard here. Cab Franc does really well. Malbec is interesting. Pinot Noir is difficult, but when it's good, it's really great. So I really like working with everything.
It's been an interesting evolution of the industry. In the time I've been here, even like when I first got here, there was still a lot of the original pioneers that were working in the industry, and now we're kind of on to this like new guard, new generation of winemakers, and a lot of new ideas coming in, people who don't necessarily feel like we need to follow what's always been done here. So I think we're gonna start to see an explosion of new things here. I think we're gonna see new grapes being planted. I think even with the changes in the climate, people are kind of looking to things that will adapt better to what we might be seeing in the future.
I think there's an opportunity to kind of re-look at hybrids and see if maybe they have a place on the North Fork after all, even if they aren't required from a cold hardiness perspective. So that's an area that I think is intriguing.
Because that's important now for the customers ask a lot more questions, and I think the region too is becoming more aware of how we're treating our planet, basically. Everyone's trying to be less, lower impact as far as spraying and things like that, which is important.
And I'm also very optimistic about the potential for sparkling wines out here. I think that there's potential for huge growth there.
We are 2 hours east from New York City. Why don't you come and visit Long Island and discover the amazing wines that we are making in the North Fork and South Fork? I think you will be amazingly surprised at the quality, and it will definitely change your perception of how wonderful the Long Island wines could be.